everybody. Welcome to the fourth episode, or book as I should say, of the book review show. This episode, we got Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. This is a good short one. I promise not to keep you long with this one. But as always, before we go into that one, I just want to thank everybody that's tuning in, giving me the ear, their eye, whether it's audio or video. And yeah, I just want to let you know I'm grateful, and I hope you get something out of it, and eventually grab the book. But yeah, so let's get into the book, Who Moved My Cheese. So first off, I picked this book just because it's just a really good, powerful book about, preparing and adapting to change. And it's short. Like, you could really probably read this book in, like, I would say probably by the time you finish listening to this audio or read or watching the video, like, this book, you can get through it fast, but it's powerful. And we all go through those seasons. We all go through those times in our lives and like work lives, like career. And I think it's just big because first off, before I kind of go into the basis of the book, though, I want to talk about who Spencer Johnson was, the author. I forgot to go into that. But yeah, Spencer Johnson, first off, is also known as the King of Parables. He was someone who was known at taking complex situations and like being able to break it down and make it simple, but very understandable and like applicable and practical. He was a physician. He was the medical director of communications for Medtronics, who is like the inventor of the cardiac pacemaker. He was on boards for a bunch of School of Medicines. He was a co-author of another series of books called like the 1 Minute. Like, he had a series called like the 1 Minute Manager, the 1 Minute, XYZ. It was a bunch of other ones that you could look into. I haven't necessarily read those, so I don't have the whole scoop on it. But he does have a bunch of books. You just look him up. He did a lot of great work. He, rest in peace, passed away in 2017. But the late great man did a lot of good work. And this book is taught in a lot of seminars for companies and universities, just as like Stephen Covey's stuff was. So yeah, that's who Spencer Johnson was. And so the basis of this book, as I was saying, is to give you or the reader a short analogical story about four characters. So there's four characters in the book: two mice, Sniff and Scurry, and two little persons, as they say, Hem and Ha, who will go into a maze every day, looking for their quote unquote, figuratively, cheese. And this will help like you, the reader, get a perspective to prepare and to deal with change in your work and personal life, so that you can enjoy, like predict and just embrace any change instead of like grieving over it or stressing over it or being upset about it. So without further ado, let's get into a couple of the takeaways and highlights of the book that I felt Spencer wanted the reader to really take away, and that I really took away. All right. And so number one was page 29, 32 and 33 in there. You kind of see the power of complacency, or like the power of being content. The little persons, they start off and they find this cheese station, and they just like start to get real complacent and content with, just staying there. Because again, remember, it's a maze, and there's more. But what happens is the little persons, they get real complacent. They start, setting up shop, and, they hang up their shoes, and like, because it's a maze, so they're going through it. They, you can go through it every day. But like, they hang up their shoes and, set up shop and build a home right next to their cheese. And yeah, And so then that goes into what does cheese, like what does the figuratively cheese mean? And you see that in page 34. And what cheese means is like their source of happiness, pretty much. Cheese was a source of happiness. And for some, that meant material things, as we know. For some, it's good health and developing a spiritual well being. For the two little persons in the book, for him, it meant becoming like a big boss in charge of others at the cheese station, and like owning a big house. For Ha, it meant like being safe, secure, having a family, and just like living in a like nice little quaint, uh, nice little like quaint cozy home, and doing his own thing. So that leads us into page 41. My third highlight is you see the power of dream killers. And so what happens is at this point in the book, there's cheese station, like they start running out of their source of happiness, their cheese, and him is just upset and doesn't want to accept it. And Ha is like, man, like, I think we should probably move on. But him's negativity and like hope is just like shot and gone. And you just see like the power of someone who has no dream and no hope. Yeah. And so then that takes us to the fourth highlight, which is on page 51. And you see the power of hope and getting out your comfort zone. And right, so there's a few quotes that I really like that help you understand what I mean by having power of hope and getting out your comfort zone. And it says, if you do not change, you can become extinct. And then another one that says, the fear you let build up in your mind is worse than the situation that actually exists. And these quotes are actually in the book written by Ha, who eventually starts going through the maze and realizing these things. And then that leads us to the fifth and final highlight for me is it's on page 69, and it's the power of letting go of the past and fear and adapting to what is and letting hope lead you. And there's a couple quotes that Ha writes, and like, on that page and a couple pages after that really hit the spot on helping you understand that. And he says, when you stop being afraid, you feel good. And then another one he writes is, you have to smell the cheese often so you know when it is getting old. Yeah, so that's the highlights for me. Some takeaways that really hit it for me. All those are just big because you get to see just like all the different emotions that you go through when change is happening and when things are going good. So all of you get to see when things are going good, when change is happening, and what happens when you embrace and kind of just move through the fear and all those uncomfortable situations of change, and then coming out on top and what it could do for you. So yeah, again, this is Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Again, a really short one. Like I said, you can read this book probably in 30 minutes to an hour. Get this book out the way. But it's just really so powerful and hits the nail on the head with a lot of things and a lot of emotions. There's also like at the end of the book, like a real collaborative. I think classmates, they start talking about the book actually at the end, and you kind of see all the like the discussion they have, which is really cool. And you just see, man, like change is just so big, for all those that may be currently going through change, or that foresee change or know like change is coming. Man, definitely just be prepared. Like this book will help you, kind of get a perspective on being prepared, seeing it. And there's actually a quote at the end of the book that I really liked, and that's my final quote. And it says, enjoy change, savor the adventure, and enjoy the taste of new cheese. Yeah, and without further ado, that's it. I really hope you guys check this book out, and let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know, what were some of your favorite takeaways or things that like kind of helped you understand where you stood in embracing change, because yeah, it's all about that, like, just being able to help you get a perspective on it. So yeah, again, thank you guys for getting to this point, and that's it. I'm out. Also, you guys can find this book on Amazon, at Barnes and Nobles, or your local library. There's also an audio book on YouTube, and yeah, many ways you can get it, or you can just look it up online. I personally got it from a family member who at the time knew I was going through a change in my personal life and work life, so she had recommended it to me, and it was dope for me at the time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.